Hello, my name is Whitney Schaefer. I'm a teacher at Scottsburg High School New Tech in Southern Indiana. I teach a course called Political Perspectives. It's a combination of English 12 with government and econ. I teach the government and econ side, and my co-teacher teaches English 12. She's not able to be in the video today, so I'm going to hopefully do her justice in this. We're submitting our project called Freedom Riders for the Best in Network Award. The Project Freedom Riders was a project that we did with our senior class, and we wanted to focus on an issue that the students have said is an issue that they see every day living in a small Southern Indiana rural town, and that's diversity. Most of the people in our little town are white. Most of them are very, very similar to the next person sitting next to them. They don't really see people from different backgrounds, especially people from different countries or with different religions or coming from different cultures than them. And that's a shock for those students when they try to leave their little small town of Scottsburg to go other places and not know how to create and foster an environment of respect. So we took that perspective and created our project called Freedom Riders. We gave the driving question of how do we as first world country citizens empathize with refugees from failing countries so that we can create an environment of welcoming and respect, because that's really at the end of the day what the students had said that they saw was an issue. So we got this opportunity to partner with Newcomer Academy in Louisville, Kentucky. This school is a safe haven for refugee students from around the world. They've been accepted to the United States at one of the border areas, and they were sent to Louisville, Kentucky to further education, to be partnered with a host family, and to kind of wait it out until their home country is safe again. Some of them were able to go back, and some of them are still here with us because their home countries still aren't safe. So just that perspective in general, that the students got to partner with them, is outstanding. To know that these kids are here without their family because their home country is not safe. That's not something that the kids in our city see. So the idea was that we wanted them to create a book. We wanted them just to talk to the kids, talk to those students and see what their experiences are and were, and why they are where they are. So we partnered 2 of our students with 1 refugee student from Newcomer Academy. Some of them were as young as 12 and some of them were as old as 19, but all of their education levels were different. Their ability to speak English was different, and they were all from every country that you could imagine. Our students created interview questions as a partnership and sent them over to the Newcomer Academy students to kind of get a chance to think it out. And they went to Newcomer Academy, saw their school, and sat down with them and interviewed them and talked to them. And just that experience was so eye-opening, not just for the students, but for us as facilitators, to just sit down and listen to stories. Listen to a girl from Haiti whose home was destroyed in a natural disaster, whose government wasn't using the humanitarian funds effectively to save her family, or a kid from Africa who is only here because his family was all killed by corrupt government. The interviews were intense and sad and really, really eye-opening for our students. Going back to the school the next day, they were able to reflect on that interview and truly see the devastation around the world. But not only that, they were able to see the hope still in a lot of those students, which is really eye-opening. From there, they took those interviews and they were able to create a book based on those interviews and also based on the research that they found out about that refugee's country. We compiled this all together. We partnered really closely with our tech department here at our school and with our librarian to create an iBook. What was really amazing about it is each group created their own iBook pages based on the template that we gave them. So they all kind of became publishers. They became journalists, is exactly what they were doing. They interviewed people, they found out their stories, they wrote about their stories, and then they reflected on their stories. The reflection essays were really amazing. We wrote them as a as a testament to the refugee that they interviewed. They thanked them for their time. They told them how impactful that was to them to be able to hear their experiences and meet them. What's really amazing is a lot of the students are still in contact with those refugee students now, just on their own free will. They've met these people that they have such an amazing story, and they've realized that they're not that different, that a lot of the students are all about the same age. So even if they're from Africa, they still like to dance, and even if they're from Haiti, they still like to listen to music just like our students do. And they wouldn't have gotten that opportunity if they wouldn't have just sat down and talked to each other. So that was really amazing. The idea behind the school-wide learning outcomes in this project were the written communication aspect, just their country analysis report that they had to do. They had to write a reflection essay. They had to create their own interview questions and do the research behind all of those things. The oral communication was really big in this project too, as far as being able to connect to that refugee student. A lot of the students barely spoke English, so they had to not only know how to talk to people, but they had to know how to talk to someone who doesn't completely understand what you're saying. And that was a big task that a lot of them have never had to try to do before. Collaboration was really big too. They were in partnerships, so they had to create their interview questions together. They had to make sure that their refugee student knew who both of them were. They did introductions through Google Slides before, which was really cool. They were able to say, here's who we are and 3 things we like, and the refugee student did the same thing before we even did the interviews. So that was really cool, but they couldn't have done that without that collaboration aspect. They also interviewed together, which interviewing someone with another person is really difficult to do. You have to have a different level of respect for a person, not to talk over them, and that was hard for our seniors to know how to do that. And then agency, just setting up all these different connections. At the end of the project, they wanted to do a book club where they didn't feel like just publishing the iBook was enough to really answer our driving question, which was to foster a community of respect. So instead of us going down to Newcomer Academy in Louisville and presenting the book, they wanted them to come to our school, which was really daunting because, like I said, everyone in our little school is exactly the same. So we got approval from our school, and they did that. They wanted to figure out if we could do it. So we figured out how we could get those students up to our school. We held a book club. So they came up to our school. We went to the library. We had breakfast together. We read the book together. We read the dedication page that the students wrote together. And then all of the students from Newcomer Academy were led tours around our school by our students. So they got to see our gym. They got to see our cafeteria. They got to see what our math class and art class looked like. And that was really amazing. A lot of the other students that aren't in our class were like, who are you? What are you doing here? I want to meet you. I want to know more. And that was amazing for our students to see that that's the way that you engage with others and create that community of respect, is to just talk to people and learn their story. And it was amazing to see that they had pushed far enough to go past what we had just thought was enough with the iBook. They wanted to foster that community of respect, and it spread throughout our school. What's really amazing is our iBook is published now, so that's really, really cool. The students get to see it on iBook, and they wrote it. They also are still connecting with the students at Newcomer Academy. We're doing another follow-up project, a little different this year. We want to try to go further and spread it throughout the entire campus instead of just with our new tech classes. So this project is still living out its impact. It's still fostering student learning, and not just for our students, but for all the students in the school, which is an amazing project that can encourage students that aren't even in your class to learn. So I really hope you consider our Project Freedom Writers for the Best in Network Board. Thank you.